0.681 is x1 and y1, and 0.367 x2 and y2, and 0.317 x1 versus y3. And the last one, 0.232 x4 to y4. Okay, you might wonder, what is x, what is y? Okay, so here comes, okay, what do the y's and x's represent? Okay, basically, x means the motivation, okay, and y means the change. Okay, so let's look at x1. Intrinsic interest, motivation with the total effect of 0.686. Okay, x2 is, I have to look at it. Okay, x3 means individual development motivation, and f3 immediate achievement, learning situation, going abroad. All these, they conclude a short-term motivation. Okay, and S4 is social responsibility motivation with a total effect of 0.755. Okay, here, S1 to S4 represented 76.85% of the variance in the observed motivation types variables and accounted for 19.36% of the variance in the observed self-identity change variables. And as for Y's, Y1, productive change with a total effect of 0.883, a positive change, okay, gaining a new self-identity without losing the old. Okay, fast break. Okay, oh, I think, can I pass this one? Okay, thank you. Okay, let's do next. Okay, so what relational patterns emerged? So we can see X1 and Y1, long-term motivation and positive change. This is the most important pair. The stronger the students' intrinsic interest, the more they underwent productive and additive changes. Okay, so you can just read the last three. Okay, thank you. Let's go. Okay, and then effects of demographic factors. Okay, from the MANOVA test show university major and English proficiency had significant main effects on motivation types. Okay, so English major scores higher on intrinsic interest, social responsibility, individual development, and information medium. Okay, English proficiency has significant effects on intrinsic interest and immediate achievement. But here, sex has no significant effects on motivation types. Okay, and however, another MANOVA test shows sex, major, and starting age has significant main effects on identity changes. So female students score higher on self-confidence, productive and additive changes. However, male students score higher on subtractive, split, and zero changes. And English majors score lower on zero changes. Higher, okay, but they got higher, score higher on all the other change categories. And starting age has effects on self-confidence, addictive, and split changes. Okay, so university major and English proficiency influence both motivation and self-identity changes. The more one learns, the more interested or motivated one becomes, and the more changes in self-identities. Okay, so the more interested learners are, the more they learn, and the more they change. Okay, so compared with learning motivation, self-identity changes are more sensitive to such factors as sex and starting age. So female students displayed more positive changes. And the result of this study seemed to favor early learning for more positive identity changes. Okay. There was a strong relationship between intrinsic interest on the one hand and the productive and addictive change on the other. So individual development, motivation, and self-confidence change were interrelated. Okay. So here, implications and suggestions. The non-linguistic outcomes of English learning deserve much of EFL teachers' attention because language learning can bring about identity change to learners. That means it calls for teachers' attention to what is beyond teaching of language skills. You have to teach more than that. Okay? And then productive bilingualism can serve as an educational objective. So teachers may cultivate learners' interest and positive attitudes and beliefs associated with the target language and culture on the one hand, and the native language and the culture on the other. Okay, a proper integration of the two will lead to productive changes. Okay, and because individual development motivation influences self-confidence for EFL learners, teachers could build up students' self-confidence in learning by helping students set up their goals in English study and incorporate them into their long-term career development. Okay. And learners' immediate short-term interests, such as getting higher test scores, should be carefully monitored and channeled to their long-term goals so as to avoid possible negative effect on learners' identity changes. Okay. Finally, limitations. The reliability of the instrument measuring self-identity changes need improvement. Okay. In actual learning, student self-identity change will be affected by many factors other than learning motivation, which were not taken into consideration in this study. The last one. The data was so confined to Chinese ELT contests, and their implications for other tests remain to be examined in future research. Thank you.